Hello everyone, welcome to another paradigm shift video. And today we're going to be discussing about some early potential bottoming signs that Ethereum is giving. So without further ado, let's just jump straight to the charts. Listen, I know some of you were expecting to jump directly to Ichimoku, as I was speaking a few days ago when I've made the initial post. However, I just want to mention a very important feature about my style of trading, and I think something very good for everybody who is watching this. I think that all indicators are secondary to price action, and not only indicators, chart patterns, candlestick patterns, everything is secondary to price action. So that's why we're not going to discuss directly about Ichimoku and about those early signs, but we're going to speak about market structures. And after that, of course, secondary, we're going to apply Ichimoku and the early signs that I see on Ethereum's chart. So first of all, this is a simple chart with zones, with supports, resistances. And as I have some notes on my chart, from a few weeks ago when I made the analysis in Paradigm, I was very happy to see, at least short term, that we had a very good reaction under 1,500 area. We had some liquidity grab. That's why the note here, good reaction needs to hold as support on daily close and especially on weekly close. And as you can see here, the first area to be reclaimed, so we can start speaking about bottoms, is going to be 1,860. Once we're going to reclaim this first area, which we lost back in April, on the 1st of April, I think we can discuss about 2,145, which for me is the make it or break it level. I know that there's a lot of excitement right now on Twitter and maybe other platforms, but as you know, maybe because I'm also like an old school trader and also because of my age, who knows, I like to pay premiums before I can get excited. So for me, based on price action, I want to see 1,150, 1,160 area flipped to daily support and after that to weekly support. But for me, the bottom is going to be in only after I'm going to see 2,145 being flipped to daily and weekly support and a continuation towards 2,104. Why 2,145, you may ask? Well, as you can see, if we go back to December 2023, once we broke above it, we stayed above this area up until March 2025. So let's see for how much time. In total, for almost 465 days, we stayed above 2,145. And every time when we were retesting it, we were bouncing. Here it was a reaccumulation. We went higher. We retested and we just went straight to 4,000. Again, when we retested this on the 4th of August, 5th of August, when we had the carry trade unwinding, again, amazing reaction from the buyers. And another amazing reaction from the buyers, and we went straight up to $4,000. However, around 10th of March this year, once we lost it, as you can see here, we had a bearish retest and we sliced through 1,160 and even picked up some liquidity from 1,530. So all in all, if we're speaking just about price action and market structures, these are the first areas that I want to see being flipped by the buyers, 1,150, 1,160, the first area to be reclaimed. But for me, the bottom is going to be confirmed only above 2,145. And now that we cleared this very important aspect, let's jump to Ichimoku so I can show you what I was seeing when I made that post on Twitter. Although it's early, I'll show you what I mean from Ichimoku trading. By the way, I'm going to put a link in the description of this video on YouTube and also on Twitter, in which I have a full tutorial on Ichimoku trading. I'm not going to go through all the details right now because it's going to take too much of the time, but you're going to have a link in the description and you're going to have a full video on Ichimoku trading. However, I took some very important features from Ichimoku trend trading. And for example, if we will have a full confirmation that we went from bearish to bullish, we need to see 4 key elements. The first one will be the price to be above the Kumo, above the conversion line, and above the baseline. Right now, the price is not above the Kumo, which means cloud in Japanese, but is already piercing towards the upside and is already above the conversion line, the red line, and the baseline. So it's above the Tenkan and above Kijun. The Kumo to be thick and green is not right now, but we are flipping from thick and red to thin and green, which shows the potential bottoming sign. The conversion line to be above the baseline and above the Kumo. Also, this is not happening right now. And also the lagging span or the Chiku span to be above the Kumo. We have none of that. However, Even if we don't have that, that's why I said even in the initial post that we still need more confirmation. We have some early signs that we might see a momentum shift and we might see a trend shift. And that early sign is this one. This is called the TK bullish crossover. T comes from Tenkan, which is the red line. Comes from Kijun, which is the blue line. And we have a TK bullish crossover. However, it's happening under the cloud, so it can be a weaker signal. Okay, but because we have this happening right here, and because we also are having the Kumo from going from thick and red to thin and green, these for me are early signs of a potential market structure shift. Until we're going to have all those four elements which I showed you before being all checked, we might have to chew through some volatility and accept some volatility. But this TK bullish crossover happened a few days ago, and I'll show you why I said in the Twitter post that we might still see some choppiness for about 45 days. The last time when we had this was happening here. Okay. And before we had the confirmed break and the confirmed rally, it took around 50 days. And as you can see, it was like a chop area. It was not a full confirmation, right? And after that, we all know what happened. After we broke above 2,700, we went on a rally towards 4,100. So now we have a similar situation. So we had the TK bullish crossover happened on 22nd of April. So if we take the same metrics, if we take the same measures, it would mean 45 days would mean around 7th of June, and 50 days would mean around 12th of June. So around that week, we will have most likely, if price action is going to confirm, we're going to have a full reversal and we're going to have all those four bullish elements. It's still early. We still need confirmation. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I want to see ETH above 1,860 first and a continuation above 2,145, and only above 2,145 I will have enough confidence to declare a local bottom on Ethereum. However, there are some early signs, and these are the early signs that I wanted to mention. But please don't forget what I said and what I mentioned in the beginning of the video. And most likely, if the price action is going to confirm and is going to have this kind of trajectory and happening around that area that I mentioned, only then we will have most likely those 4 out of 4 bullish elements, meaning the price above the Kumo flipping to thick and green, Tenkan Sen above the Kumo, Kijun Sen above the Kumo, and last confirmation for the extra conservatory traders would be the Chiku span also being above the Kumo. When that will happen, we will have the same type of scenario and the same type of setup that we had here. Also here, if you're taking a closer look, we had the TK bullish crossover, but it has been some time until we passed to the upside, right? So here, the resistance was around 2,765. As you can see, we rejected a few times and we were chopping around before we had the full confirmation. So somewhere around here, the price was above the Kumo, which was green at that time. The price was above the Tenkan Sen, above the Kijun Sen, and also the Chiku span was above the price and above the Kumo and far from the price. So those elements most likely will unfold in the next few weeks. I will patiently wait for that to happen. I will let other people deal with this chop. I'm not in the camp where I'm hunting bottoms or I'm hunting tops. However, I like to trade the lion's share of the move or the meat of the move. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and hit the retweet button. Thank you and see you next time.